Hello Blender folks, welcome and welcome back. I'm XII and we are continuing on the live streaming of melt rigging, experimental organic rigging for cartoon characters and maybe with other details. Let's go straight to the point. We are trying to make those live streams faster. I talk too much often and I explain too much stuff, and then eventually I get tired and this doesn't get as efficient as it could be, so could be more interesting also. So let's see what are the topics here. Make symmetric lips, corners, big pulling BB splines. So this is one idea I've just had a few minutes ago. I've saw an excellent tutorial perhaps not a tutorial but some documentation, some crazy guy, genius solution. I think he learned from other skills, but doesn't matter. He made some guide or developed content on this, so probably very inspiring thing. Let's just find it and then let's go for, so it's Sonic, Universal Sonic Mouth. This is really, I'm not sure I'm going to use this, but probably I'm going to attempt. Not now, of course, this will be for another day, maybe this week. I need to research into the documentation. Apparently it's used shrink wrap modifier. I think could work with shrink wrap on constraint. So it's universal, so there's a short here. And even I'm gonna post this data here because yes, the problem is I'm okay with the shrink wrap, although it's a strange use of shrink wrap in some sense. And more than that, I'll post in the chat, and more than that, there's also a documentation in Blender Artist, so there's no comment. I don't know why. This is extremely interesting and seems to be well documented, though not with as conventional tutorial, but there's some explanations. So basically there's two meshes. The shrink one is the mouth, which is slightly on top of the what is behind muzzle mesh, the Sonic character, the muzzle, something like that. And then the mouth only is got a vertex loop that it will shrink wrap onto that, and then we can make this kind of crazy stuff.
Talk about being stubborn and full of surprises.
Halfway, take a few steps back. You ain't got the answers.
The mouth is sliding, right? Okay, so I had some, starting to have some idea about this because I already shrink wrap for the eyes and no, sorry, not for the eyes, for for our leads. But no, this is really cool. Maybe I've seen this before. I'm sure, but this is crazy. It's the problem then arises with, I haven't read the documentation. There's this UV data transfer. I'm not sure. Yeah, it should work, right? But I have some question about how this would work. But apparently everything should work properly. The question is, this implies that if this works with shrink wrap bone constraint, also this will be the best thing. I believe it should work, but the problem is I do not understand perfectly how the meshes they combined, right? It's like I need to read through that. So here's the reference. This is this guy here's the YouTube channel. Also, I'm surprised there's no comment at all here because this is very, very powerful, right? Look at that stuff here. Also, those mouse shapes could be shape keys, but anyways, whatever they are, these are the kind of crazy expressions I want to be able to make. Maybe not exactly like that, but yeah, see? Anyway, so the idea that I found this today as I was researching alternatives to my stuff here. And hold on, let's get back here. There we go. All right. So what I need to do here, no, not here. Yeah, sorry folks. Is the idea that I have, that I had, is that okay, the orientation of the splines matter a lot, and we were starting to get some interesting things regarding the extremities, right? It's not that the mouth is moving, so nothing like the sonic stuff, but I can get some interesting yeah, but I cannot do that, right? The mesh gets completely deformed as I tried that, so not completely, right? There is some, but then all that transforms everything else, so it's very hard to control, right? I don't have a full mouth controller yet, so this also affects, oh yeah, this also affects some of the possibilities for doing all that thing. This is why the shrink wrapping would be very, perhaps the one of the best alternatives, to have the mouth just go here, right? Without deforming that mesh exactly. It would be a so actually there would be the apparently I see, yes, so I'm not sure why there needs to be another double face, like as if the question is the face that is below is a mesh that must appear. Apparently it's just like a grid mesh to serve as a space, and then out, but then yeah, so never mind. So what I want to do here that I thought could be useful, also having inspiration on that tutorial, that documentation, is that without shrink wrapping stuff, is extreme mouth pulling spline towards the side. I thought about this because one of the problems exactly I'm having, and as I'm getting more familiar with spline skinning for mouth rigging especially, is that I'm having hard difficulty in having this motion for the whole mouth. And then I think that if I could use like a spline here and here, like very radically, so I first thought about perhaps one spline, but then there's the double the mirroring problem. So this would yeah, I know that this failed. This would not be certainly not be the case for that. Most likely this would fail, so I'm not even try that. But then one for here, and I'm thinking one for here, so symmetric stuff. And these splines will be responsible for, on one hand we can, for example, pull the mouth or large portions. We could have explored the amount of wave painting this could have for all this part, right? Even yeah, because it's mirrored mesh, probably not to that part, unless okay, I've just thought of some crazy thing here. Finally, a use for the mirrored mesh wave painted thing. I got some plans, so maybe I can get all this from that spline that will be here to either not stretch, but pull the mouth, all the mouth mesh, not only this region but the lips on the right side, but all the mesh to that direction. And then I have the opposite spline that can, while I pull all that, this would have same influence around here, right? Like symmetric, but instead of stretching, because I can control them separately, it will, instead of, I mean, pulling to its own direction, it will be actually pushing. So that will be 50% with 50%, so 100% in that direction, or if I want the opposite. So, and we can stretch, pull both sides, or push both sides, and there's probably some variation to top and bottom that we can explore. So this is the craziest idea I've got so far. I think even more crazy than the teeth, because the stretching of the teeth, stretch and squash of the arcades, right? It's something that we can see from the Pixar, Blender Studio rigs and cartoon stuff, right? So this is not really right. It's expectable if we think just a little more about the possibilities. But then these, I don't remember properly which mount rig has this sort of spline like this, if there is anything that does that. But anyways, if I'm forgetting something, I'm sorry, but I just cannot remember if I've seen that or not. Apparently I've seen this or attempt something like that sometime. Can't just remember, but we're going to attempt this crazy thing, and I think this has strong potential. Probably will be better than what I have now, but I'll have to reassess perhaps some of those splines, which are not working terribly, but they are working in some way interesting. Okay, so on edit mode here there are too many stuff going on already, so we will start with the spline from here. We'll already have some bones here. We could reuse splines. Yeah, we can reuse splines. Why not? It will be easier for us. Don't need to retake from scratch. So just let's duplicate that. Yeah, use bound box, the bounding box center, right? Then do that. Just one, yeah, just one spline, and oh, I see. Now this is interesting. You see what this means? If this spline starts really stretched like that, what does it mean is that if I try to get it, no, actually, never mind. It's not. So the question is, should it be one single spline or should it be more? We will have to, this I don't know, and so we're gonna have to experiment on that. I thought just one spline because it sounds more linear, right, natural, but maybe having more than one would be appropriate since there is too much. Okay, let's reset these rows already. Then we're gonna name this bones all three bones will be find replace. They are def leap up, so not leap up, it's actually I don't even know how to call that. Mount side. Yeah. Actually, hold on. There's in the description outer mount. No. This is the symmetric lips, corners, big pulling. No, there's no. So mount side. Left. Yeah. So left we have already. So just the. So we going the bone is too large, the joints, so let's just do this to compensate. Then z-axis pointing outwards on a positive row if we can get it, so would be rolling this direction, right? Then here align with this, and then here snap there to the to the head, and then we can get here same positive row, which will make that thing something like that. Yeah. Let's go back to the chat here. Okay, this makes for the new spline, and actually the question, we can snap those to there. This is not required, so let's just approach these to somewhere like here. Let's derotate this thing, derotate the bendy bone. Let's try to get some more regular thing, right? Rotate. Okay, I'm trying to keep it at the center, right? So that's on top of the surface. I think we can derotate a little more. Actually, just pick that here. From the bottom view also seems like we can derotate a little more, and it's okay to, if we can. Okay, this looks fine. Apparently this, I assume these targets are correct, but we need to change. Oh, this the names didn't change here. What happened? Okay, sadly. Oh, I did it right. No. Find replace. Okay, I did it wrong. So this leap up instead is becoming. Oh, yes. Now set. So now, yes. That's how I plan those things. So I'm just gonna save in a new file where we are creating this is mount side. Okay, good already. Don't have wave painting. The stretch to bone constraint, we need to change the target, so this will be the target. Here actually the numbers are wrong, so 001, 002, and 001, just in case you need more. So then target this here. It's already targeted. And here, this is what we don't know yet. It will depend of what effect this spline will have as we approach. Here the squash is too much, so what does that mean? Is that this mesh will be squashed somewhere like here, and that's here will generate huge artifacts. In compensation to that, if this is possible to pull all this mesh to this direction, at least 50%, that will be around here, then the other side, if we can do what I'm planning, then will be the other 50%, then should be able to reach. And cartoonistically, I don't know yet how far the mouth should go in this character. I can just pick the mesh easily and test, so it's certainly not this shape of mouth it will there, would be another shape, so it's not something that I can easily assess from 3D, except from 2D, but even that it's like hard, right? Without. Okay, so the tests are not going to be too cumbersome, so apparently here those splines are wrongly symmetrized, so just delete them. and let's resymmetrize. I think they are ready for wave painting. I mean, what is happening there? Oh, they have lots of bond constraints, so that's clear. So it's, I think, Control Alt C, Control Alt C, Control C, Control C. Yeah, this maintain volume. This is no, and we'll just have this thing. Okay, left and right. Now for wave painting, the question is, yes, it's simple, very simple what we need to do, so don't need to think much. We need to get, okay, we can't just use the mirror modifier this time. We need, actually, sorry, we need the mirror modifier, and we are going to get the mount region. But more than that, okay, that's okay. Get this. It ends in the lip separately. There's no other selection. So okay, we must include the lips, and I'm not using auto normalize option for wave painting, so there's no risk in taking off wave from the lips. For example, they have their own controllers, so being straightforward, what we need to do is start wave painting this. We'll see how this works. So of course I don't have the possibility here, so first thing I'm gonna include the lips at maximum waves. That is bad what's happening there, so we're gonna fix that in a moment. We don't need to wave this perfectly, right? So here we need to can probably subtract these waves. So here we need to remove where the mix, okay, mix is subtract. There we go. Okay, then here we can start yes, then here, because this mesh is already having shared influence, right? I'm not sure how much this should wave, so maybe that the last part doesn't require much. So it's not really that straight stuff that we are willing to all this loop here, right? Except that probably we want, yeah, and now I'm having trouble with right, having trouble with excessive waves, so the ratios here are difficult, the gradation is difficult to assess. There's a shape like that, I assume something like this. We blur, like we want. Here I think there's too much wave, and this can go completely wrong, right? But it works. I think it's worth trying. This certainly will give some idea. Let's just see what it does now. Of course, this is not exactly what I want. All right. Okay, we are not supposed to move this one, right? Like this is more like the opposite. We see that it changed the lips and squashes. Actually, it makes something else on the lips. But this is not, it's not pushing the mesh, the lips, so this is strange. This is pulling the mesh, the mouth, so interesting. and then it starts the horrid squashy stuff, unless we take this apart maybe. But I don't know if we're supposed to be doing that, but then I can continue that, but then more crazy stretch stuff. Okay, so it's not halfway. We see that that part of the lips don't really go so far, but maybe this is the case because actually these waves are not that strong, right? What if we insist here? Nothing happens. Yeah, we are not being able to pull that mesh, maybe because of shared waves. So interestingly enough, these heavy waves in here don't actually destroy this mesh, so this is pretty curious. Okay, we see that this deforms there slightly more, but this is not so radical that is bad. I like how the mouth is moving though, the one side, until of course it reaches a threshold. So perhaps if I could limit this stretching here of the mesh, of the volume stuff, maybe more could be said about it. Let's try 0.2, even though. Okay, so what we see is that it is still possible to move the mouth sides, and then of course there are shared waves. And maybe the shared waves are the responsible for these limitations on the pull, the lateral pull of these bendy bones, right? So this is quite interesting. Let's try to move some. I don't have yet a rig to close mouth, so this is very annoying. Okay, we can pull a little more. This can help, like making some. This is actually funny, folks. Okay, then. Wait. I don't. Yeah, no, we can't deform the spine. This will be like. We can't do something crazy like that. It will be. Okay, so what we realize. Wow. It's stretching and it's not squashing the horrible things. This means that we can insist. Of course, this is deformed inside because there's no wave nearly at all there. So another idea is, what if these bones could pull perhaps some of these. This is not by true bone constraint. So this is not. The other idea I have in now is that now that we have this system and we need to assess what it means to take off these waves here. So I have a plan for not destroying these waves and preserving these waves as a backup and remaking these things from scratch, right? We'll make a test like that, and then I want to see how this mesh deforms on this circumstance. And so here, yes, I was thinking on multiple plans. For example, what if posing the mouth bones pushed this, right? And now I have an answer for this, is that yes, if my mouth bones, as I move them, they could push this bone, and this mesh like this spline doesn't create horrid deforms there by being pushed aside, then this means that I can have controllers on the lip bones that work indirectly for the outer bones. And so this is, I wasn't expecting to discover this right now, this effect. So this is very, very interesting. This seems to present that I can probably, it might be possible to make from inside inner to outer. So it means that these bones outer, although we can still manually control them, they can be actually controlled by the lips themselves. So this is actually great to know, but because this was so bizarre, because I didn't know this was possible, that we could have this sort of resilience in this region with this. It wasn't clear to me, I mean, so now that I see that this happens, it seems plausible that we can make that rig that I was thinking, that I just thought. But I was thinking, right before I had this idea of this lateral spline, or horizontal symmetric splines, I had the idea, I was thinking about the opposite. These bones, would be responsible for pulling the inside with some control rig. But because why would I pull that if I were not to use changes, like it's not like this part here needs any puffy cheeks there, but this could be another rig, so it doesn't need to, another system doesn't need to be this one, right? So the idea here is that yes, I could have instead the inverse, that pulling these bones have indirect controls over the lip bones, or they just can be independent as they are right now. See, nothing in the mouth moves, and if I move here, nothing there moves, except the mesh, right? But the mesh is not control rigs, right? So we need to think in terms of automation. It's good if both systems are free, but we need to have, so add mix, something like that, before regional mix, stuff like that. But we need to, it would be good to have an automation. The only reason I will pull this, as I see, is to pull is because the mouth is deforming towards this direction. Doesn't mean the mouth must move entirely, but it means that the mouth is stretching, the lips are stretching, whatever expression we have here, exaggerated, even not exaggerated. So this always would mean something like exploring more besides the skin cool expressions that could form, like perhaps something like that, but usually this will revolve around changing, especially. Okay, so otherwise we just do a little, like something like that, or we don't need to pull like that. This is really for the mouth to transform more radically, to deform more radically, and even to be pulled entirely. So now for the biggest proof of concept of all times in Blender. You'll never see something as crazy. I never seen anyone use this with mirror modifier. At least, yeah, considering mirror modifier. Without mirror modifier, maybe I just don't know it well enough, because I only use mirror modifier. I'm not used to wave painting without mirror modifier. So here, okay, this is the spline, and you see I cannot paint on that side. Now on this side I cannot paint on this side, but there is a special thing. I can I can paint here. So what does it mean? It means that I'm wave painting the lips for Oh, that's right. This means, as you can figure out, I'm painting the whole mesh of the lips for a single symmetrical bone. And because it's mirror modifier, this wave painting is symmetric. I'm painting for this bone from this bone. This is completely crazy. There you go. So here is the drawing that I've done in the beginning, and now we can already test. It works. It works, folks. Yes, we need to investigate how. All right, so yeah, I think I can go sleep now because yeah, of course, maybe it's not a great merit since of mine, since as I mentioned, if I just realized, maybe I just didn't realize this because this wave painting with mirror modifier just too bizarre of a thing, right? So I never seen anyone using it, so that's simple like that. So maybe I thought that, well, this would be not this is just a bug, right? And now suddenly this turns out to be one thing that a game changer for this. So we have still problems with the way the mouth moves, but of course we still do not have the other 50%, right? And so we see, yeah, the deformation are not very good in that sense, but yeah, we need, let's see what we can do. So if I pull more, of course, and then we must consider that all these bones are staying in place, right? Maybe if they moved, yeah, they have strong waves there, and then it's probably displacing all that mesh. So let's, for example, yeah, I'm afraid to touch that a little, but yeah, see, if there was no waves in there, maybe this wouldn't be so bad right now. Yeah, and then it only gets worse as we work on this. So this we maintain. So maybe this is obsolete. This is much more intriguing. I think it's more powerful than what I was doing. It already offers some cool stretching of that mesh, and it does the mouth changing. While if I were to consider what I had right before, I think I was having a large difficulty in moving the mesh. Yeah, it was very difficult to move the entire, yeah, because but this already starts to move a lot, the whole mouth, right? So it seems much more regular. It's just that we have a difficulty in having the proper shape. You see what I mean? Along the, it's not like the mouth is shrink wrapping. It's difficult for it to, but then we can probably try to, let's see, I just playing around with that. Even I know that this won't work. So yeah, so the 50-50 is not that simple, but then again we are playing with waves from both sides, right? And these bones are not moving. So my idea here now is that these bones will affect only the lips, okay, the mouth interior, and the closest areas from the back of the ellipse, and we will have to destroy, not destroy it, but take off the vertex groups from these deformed bones, so we can remake them only for the ellipse. We'll make a very simple version to gain time. So here what I need to do is that I know that we can rename vertex groups separately, then this means we can displace them. So to make this simpler, we need to go on wave paint mode, select here, let's add some sort of yeah, just something like that. So XDEF, this we could delete or just keep that doing this. So now it has no way. We didn't delete the vertex group, we're just taking off left and right. So this one is not, we can preserve because it's doing what it is supposed to do. Same for this one, but we need to continue doing for these ones. So it's always the same pattern. Okay, it's done. It's completed. So now we can assess slightly different results because these pulled them out entirely and no resistance whatsoever. Of course, also the waves are very brutal. There's no see, they were all red, so maybe I should consider actually it was better before, so why this is the case I'm not sure, but yeah, it's too regular. It's probably the case that we need yes. So let's see again the waves. Let's see if we can do something about that. Yeah, look at those waves. They are horrible stuff, right? Maybe I could, yeah, the face here is too much mesh, right? So we don't need most of this for now. So we're gonna simplify this, hide all that. For the mouth interior, there is just lips, so okay, we can also hide here, and that for the rest. All right, so we'll be working on this, and now I think we are safe to develop the wave painting here, but there is problem that we need to, yeah, work on the symmetric side. There's no amount of blur that here that will solve this thing for us, so we need to do it like this. I really don't know here if we should yeah, I think it's more about blurring, just shared waves and some gradual, yeah, gradation. We need just the gradations here. Hello, started broadcasting at night. It's doubtful as for me. Yes, hello Lotsky, how are you? Welcome back. So I had insights today. If you watch the beginning after on this live, you'll see I don't intend this live to be is the last one for me for the day. I don't intend it to be very long, so I'm trying to fasten up things, right? I talk too much, I think too much, and I explain too much, and so I defocus too easy. And now I had an insight today. Yes, I was studying the mouth reading possibilities. I found one that was really crazy, and I've posted in the beginning. It was something like that, universal sonic. Just show you quickly here, and this is why I cannot sleep anymore. Universal. So there's a guy that here made a tutorial with. Okay, made matter to show here.
Talk about Mickey.
So basically, the mouth floats on top of this new area.
Stubborn and full of surprises.
Halfway. Take a few steps back. You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the.
And then he makes a whole documentation how this works. I haven't read it. It's free, so there's even in Blender Artist here, and there's the documentation. I read a bit about it. I'm not trying to reproduce it, but by reading it, I started to think more on some ideas. It used shrink wrap modifier and data transfer. I think this is, I don't know how exactly why this purpose of this one, but here the shrink wrap is more or less clear. I have experience with shrink wrap modifier. Here's a mouth. It goes on top of another mesh that will be like a grid. I think this is for the shrink wrap, is shrink wrapping target. But what we see is that, and we don't see that. Then this mesh shrink wraps there, and then we have target vertex group from this mesh, only the mouth. Then we invert this. Okay, this is known practice for me. I have it in the ice rig, but not a case like this. This is a bit more bizarre, so I don't know quite exactly how this works. And then apparently the mouth with some tricks become a hole, and that, I think that that mesh becomes invisible. Yes, so apparently it should be. Now he doesn't tell about invisibility, so this is what I don't know, don't understand quite yet. And then you can make mouth shapes, including with shape keys or whatever you want, but the mouth, there's a rig system that has the mouth move and rotate with all the mouth interior features, so this is quite crazy. Maybe it's shown here. Problem is that this video is like a, yeah, just put universal sonic mouth tutorial. Okay, so I'm not trying to reproduce this, but I had then the idea of I started to think more, right? How can I make the mouth move sides, or is there any other way? And then I started thinking of side splines, and then we see that this has a much more powerful result than what I was doing for changing the mouth. And this is actually working. The test I made minutes ago. Yes, I already looked at the beginning of the stream. Yeah, so that's it. That's the sonic stuff. All right, so that's why I cannot sleep. I needed to test at least a proof of concept of these splines, right? And now I did, and see. So basically, now it's more of a question of I've reduced the amount of variation on this bone constraint. Otherwise, this would be causing, as I approach here, no, volume variation 1, hold on. Okay, this is So they are so they weren't symmetrical. Strange. So okay, so for example, if I put one here, as this bone gets very close, you'll see what it does. It start to become right. It's not that we need to do that, we can then compensate by doing that. This is cool actually. So many things that we can do with these XII splines. And the cool thing is that, remember, Jung, he's had the idea of spline vertical, and so maybe it's the way to go. Instead of having this circular stuff that I had in the very beginning, I was trying that, right? So that's one of my first plan. This is not working, it's just back up. I'm gonna delete it probably. Then instead of that, for this case at least, spline can work like in this way, crossing, right? So it makes even more sense how well this works, that this spline will make great effect. So I'm tempted, as you can see in the tasks there that I put, that oh no, I took it off. I had the nose thing, and perhaps that. So we're gonna try that. Probably crossing here will not be good, but I just didn't cross here for a few reasons. Because one, there's the hole of the mouth. Second, it will cross the plane of symmetry, right? So this will be bad for, same problem. It will cause the problem that I've already assessed regarding. So that's why I made 2. So 2 is better than 1 in most cases, except perhaps for the teeth, which requires to deform symmetrically. So that's that's it. So this is much better. You see how far we're getting now into this. Then the quality of the deforms, I think they got slightly better thanks to some deduction in the waves. Actually, some how do you say? Thanks to some blurring of the shape keys, the vertex groups, the wave painting. So there are still bad things, although there's no lips waves here. It's just the work of these 2 bones, this and this. And I didn't finish blurring, so let's continue and see what we can. Okay, so this is for that side. All right. I don't know I did that. And in that sonic content, universal sonic mouth content, there's another interesting thing that I haven't taught, but it's very, very intriguing, and I think I'm going to implement. Is that this thing, the mouth interior, can actually pivot towards the mouth hole. So it's like it will pivot, it will follow this. And I have never thought about it so far. And it makes total sense, right? I have this, for example, this central bone here, and then as we move the mouth with perhaps these perhaps they can displace in a center of gravity, perhaps one of these bones, right? I even know how to do that. It's armature. No, there's other ways to do proportional editing, but I think there's an armature deform stuff. Then add bone target, like could be bone target. So get armature, then get this bone and put it actually, hold on, wrong bone. I want the other one. It's the opposite. Okay, here, then delete that. So I want this to be oh, I deleted the no. Okay, no, not okay. Alright, sorry, I deleted this system. No? Where's that? Alright, apparently I deleted the system that I need to just revise here. Let's see, I must still have here. No, not here. Unless I'm confused with another thing. Okay, I don't know why I don't find it. Anyways, maybe I've deleted. Don't know seriously what happened. Anyways, this is not very important. So it's just cool, but not that important. So it doesn't matter now. So it will be that. So that will be an armature modifier. There will be simpler ways, but this is kind of more direct. Then we target the armature. I'm using it in a way that has nothing to do with its original purpose. So you have like 0.5 and 0.5. It will work like a child of, so it always stays. Oh, hold on, it's not using the, something is lacking here. The position, okay, so okay, but it's not, maybe it requires a third bone. Okay, so let's give it a third bone. I think I can give it a jaw up at also, oh, in this case let's give it no, it's not exactly proportional, right? You see, well, there is certain proportionality, but without this. Okay, let's try to, let's if I get 1 and 1. Okay, anyways, the idea is that this bone in the could redirect the the arcades in the direction of the mouth hole, and this the tutorial, the Sonic Universal Sonic's mouth. I saw it rapidly from the. I didn't understand exactly how it works, but I think something like that would do. So there will be something here, but then this system is not that good enough. So let's do something maybe I'm missing something here, so let's do differently. Let's use a copy location where actually copy location where it is offset, local space with perhaps local orientation, and it follows there, but oh, I think they use child of bound constraint actually. So let's use this right, and that's it. So no, it doesn't. Maybe it requires a split. No, I think it's the child of then. Well, it is actually, it seems to be actually working. Yeah, they seem to be, even though. Alright, this can work, but we're gonna save, but let's see the child of. Maybe it's better, maybe child of, then okay, there's scale rotation, and then we do this child of, and it's 100, and it's 100% wrong. Child of, child, why I'm doing that if I can, yes, because of the target. Child of, set inverse, both enable at, you see, it's not as good, but still we have to assign the maybe this is wrong, and maybe okay, so it doesn't operate but in sync, but then there is this, perhaps we need to split this. Let's try now. Okay, it seems to do the equivalent, right? So if we just turn this off and okay, let's do something here. There we go, it's same place. The only difference, well, there are many differences, but the child of also has rotation, so it's more complete. Might be more useful, but for this will be a mapper bone, so it's doesn't require that. So just this, so left and right. We could do, call it like a mechanism mount center. Yeah, mount hole center. And okay, let's try to recover that thing, since apparently it got lost accidentally as I was working. So basically nothing works here. Yeah, according to the times here. Oh, hold on. Maybe it's here. No, never mind. So it's just, I might have just lost it forever. Yeah, so but the idea is pretty simple. seem to be snapped to the grid already. Yeah, so I did it, but I've lost it. These are fossils of that feature. So there would be the arcade bones. I don't know why the software does that. Oh, because of some selection maybe. Yeah, this thing. Control libs. Alright, so let's send it to the first layer. Okay, so it will be the arcades. The system that did was bone 1. Oh, it's still there, but it seems to be incomplete. No, it's there. Alright, so it's half done. It wasn't deleted, so what it's do is just this center ones, which I can't move anymore, but they can still scale. They are meant to do that and that, right? Why I cannot scale this? Seems locked on scale. Limit scale, maybe it's wrong. Oh, the scale X. I see that it might have a driver. Limit scale transformation. Okay, maybe this is happening because okay, so the keyframes, that's it. So let's delete these things. Maybe that's what's making everything going crazy. So select all bones, let's delete the keyframe. Typical. So here, this system. The arcades. Okay, still can't move this for some reason. This one is fine though, operating perfectly, but this one refuses to budge something. Oh, I think limit location. Let's check the difference. Nothing special about each of them. Transformation, is there anything? There's also limit scale. Maybe I touch something in the limit scale. No, they are equivalent, so it's not. I see we can move the scale, right? So it's just that the bendy bone is not. Okay, maybe it's here, so it's not about the bone here. Just something here it might have disrupted. Arcade down. Why does it have this? Okay. So target arcade down. Okay, no problem here. This is equivalent. Here might be the same thing. and after there's just the transformation bone constraint, nothing else. So it's something about the... Oh, I got it. Here we have... Okay, these are equal. Then here we got also why is this value here? I think it's here the mistake. But then why this works makes no sense. Okay, then this is targeting the... We have more transformation. Okay, so what is the range here for? Okay, now this is different, of course. So this would supposed to take the location of this bone. Yes, okay, so it's the same, but they are not moving. Let's see. Replace, oh, here, multiply. There we go. And now we just need to, it's just a single thing here that was wrong. So I just destroyed the mechanism here. So basically this should go like alright, so why this is going crazy that way? They don't want to work anymore. Alright, so that's it. This will move into this is one increment, so it should be here. Alright, I see. I have changed these bones, that's why. So laying by setting this, I just create an automation controller so that this little bone here will have a, it's like a switch, copy location. Now from rest position it goes there, so on its y-axis we just get a local space, actually maybe it's not working. It's target something I missed here. It thinks the bone is larger than that. No, this can't be. Let's remake it. So it needs to go. Okay, so copy location, that's correct. Not using offset, so okay, that's good enough. Maybe I'm not sure this was the setup, but the fact is that it is not switching, because if we check here, alright, so of course it's not switching, it's moving on word space, so target okay, it's still not operating. What about the parenting? Does it help anyhow? No, doesn't help. So, yeah, it was difficult to think of such simple thing, and now I'm back in having to solve this. So this motion Z, X, Y, okay, the suddenly nothing works anymore. Location of, oh, this calls lips roll. Says there was an maybe there are other bones that no, it was there. There's no doubt that was there. Maybe I started using this bone for another thing and then I just forgot I deleted the, yeah, that should have been that. So it's just not working because the target, but where is this bone? Bone 00. I think it doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, might be an old target, but if we delete a bone, just making sure. If we delete a bone that is a target, it should be, well, this is actually lips roll. I shouldn't be messing with this bone, but we can use it for multiple functions. It's not Yeah, okay, let's use with multiple functions, that's fine. But just gonna make sure if I delete this bone, the target still's there, so maybe this is an orphan target. No, this is not accurate test. First we target, and then we delete. No, okay, it disappears. So that bone that it was targeted still exists somewhere in the rig, so I just cannot find it. Should look one by one. Bone 001 should be on some, lost in some layer. The mystery of the fallen bone. Ah! So, here they are. Auto thief. Oh, I even created... Okay. Signs of... that I should be stopping this today, but... Okay, so let's at least... so if this isn't the okay, so this will be switcher and this will be switcher base just for now. Then so it's just that. Okay, there we go. So just change the target. So I didn't lost anything, I was wrong, I just mystery solved. They were just slightly behind and I couldn't see them. So these now can go stay there. It's dangerous too. This, I've made this interesting switch so that I could have this match this rest pose, I mean this rest position, this I didn't want to change this to adapt this to this rest position instead. And so I've made an automation scaling system that would affect these bones. We can still change that, right? So they are being affected indirectly because of the switch. They would start like that, but with the switch they start like that. It's just temporarily, so I don't have to make major change to the mesh here. That might be a bit complicated, right? I need to enlarge the mesh here, right? And then when I decide perhaps to get the lips back to small, I don't know, then I have to reshape those things back, those teeth, all everything, scale back again. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'll keep this as an original rest position for that, at least for now, and then just create a switcher that is not that, it is that. So I was confused about the bones because they look similar the way that I've built it, so maybe we should so this is one thing, and this is a mouth hole center, so we'll give it another we'll give this bone a okay, let's paint this as mechanism bones, bone groups. This also is a mechanism, so bones, actually let's do this. And these deserve price to be, no, that'll be like this, this will also be like that. This could have actually a different, yes, this deserves a custom shape, something like a target that will be a sphere, empty sphere. So and this we could place it, why not here, doesn't really matter. This we could give also a just a positioning, so could give this a new color. Which one? Bone groups, center. I don't know if I have this. Mechanism, but then I won't see it very well. Yeah, this background is hard to see, so yeah, that will be better. Then let's keep developing this. Yeah, okay, this should be last thing what we could try here. I've got the wave painting to take care of. This spline seems to be working better. Okay, we don't don't have, now the mesh is not protected. We're going to try to, yeah, last thing, we're gonna fix some waves there, or should we create more splines there? The vertical ones is too much. So according to the thing that I have here, make symmetric ellipse corner, okay, done. Make outer mount big, now this is rendered sort of obsolete, so what we can do is more likely just improve exactly the wave painting of that mesh. So vertex groups, we need to get them ready. Melt interior region can hide actually from the faces. Then mount region. Then we should, yeah, reduce the size of this. We can get the nose here. We can also take off the lips. No, the lips are fine, except perhaps some mesh here. That's right. Then these we can attempt now. Let's get, okay, so we'll end up finishing this wave paint. We'll make this thing smoother. Oh, and there are the lips. Yes, wave painting the lips so to have back these controllers. So yes, a little more, and that will reveal some more interesting things. So these splines are sharing waves with the lips, the future lips, deformed bones. Waves, actually. Here, this doesn't really sound. This is not blurred, this is average. This sometimes is a mix between a blur and a smear, in my opinion. It's working really good right now in this condition, but many times it doesn't seem very useful. And blur is better, and anything is better actually. But now it seems to be helping. It doesn't mean we can't blur after. I'm already with posing results, so alright. This seems to be interesting, and then we have this. Okay. We are getting bad results there, but then the top there certainly seems a little compromised. I see why. If we take now this one, we see that the waves here are very strange. Two strong waves in this part. We can attempt also to use something to relax the mesh, like a corrective smooth in in these regions. Yeah, here we see why this part doesn't fit very well. We're having... Oh, I see, this area is protected by... Not protected, there is one bone that is still alive there. Yeah, that one. So without proper... Yeah, we'll make something risky here. I don't know, but it's too hard to test our model if we don't fix these things right now. So I hope this is not a terrible mistake, but yeah, we see that these have an effect in relaxing the mesh, so it's... But we haven't yet solved the splines themselves, so this one particularly, so we don't know yet how good our... Okay, now this is better to fix. Now this is for the opposite side, of course. This thing is really bizarre. Let's try to reset here. We're getting better just by smoothing this. We are this is soon only becoming a question of getting good mouth shapes after all, because if we are able to... Yes, these splines are really good, really. So really powerful, and with the ones here we can even get, probably, I believe, this thing more organized. Then we can get this and relax the mesh, and incredible what spline skinning can do. And so it's working, folks. Look at that. Okay, this deserves even a screenshot or something like that. Of course there's some hard deforms here, but this we can probably... Okay, so This is really incredible. I wasn't expecting to have results so fast, as good as this, so it was a possibility, of course. I believe that it could happen at any time, but this is extremely lucky. Not, of course, I know it's not luck, but in part the choices, the coincidence of that tutorial, those ideas of the problematics, this I think is the way to go. There are still more things to assess about how the mesh deforms. Maybe we need to see how more or less geometry relates to that. So this is interesting. Maybe even it would be the case that for this character, less geometry would have good results for these areas, as much as maybe it could simplify the mesh and make the shapes less deforming. I don't know, it's an hypothesis. But here probably we will need maybe not as much as we have now, maybe more than we have now, because this area around the, yes, but then I cannot forget that the mouth should also have large expressions, which then means that even these areas should deform. So yes, no, never mind. We'll keep there are too many mouth expressions that we want to do, so it's more likely that we'll have to and okay, we can use some, let's try something here. We'll attempt okay, then I have some problems going on the mesh, but it doesn't matter. Let's get mount relaxed vertex group stuff, like, okay, let's start adding, like here, no, like here. Okay, could be that. Then we mark this as a mod, what do you call it, corrective smooth face, whatever, face, yeah. Assign. Then we bring this, we'll see, not sure if this will help much. We can like duplicate that. Instead of using it here, we'll use it to face. Then we see the effect, nothing seems, okay, factor is 0. So repeat 1, yes, not enough, let's see. There you go. Remembering we had issues when we tried to augment the amount of, yeah, when we tried to keyframe this thing. Maybe it's not, yeah, a combination of driver and maybe it was the driver formula, or drivers do that kind of problem. So this sort of smooth out the face, but probably as we okay, this is really interesting. Let me take a screenshot of this, otherwise I'll lose the moment. Let's get also the here. The body won't be good because it's all wrong. Even with clothes, it's horrible. There's some This is the best mouth shape I've ever done, even if it's all wrong, but it's completely crazy. And so let's try to get some strange pose here, so I can. Okay. Where's the armature object? Here. Let's pick the control stuff. Provide the yeah, it's hidden. It's a spine, bendy bone spine with some. Now I know how to avoid, for example, this volume gain with some fake eye key things. These bones are now they don't respond to. These are too small. Let's try to see if they can get scale. Yeah, they are trying to match the real, but then it's not that helpful. Now it's better. What's happened to the face? Wow. Okay, so this is something. The bones are not parented properly. There's some problem of parenting. Started with the head, I think. Yeah, rotations of the head. So maybe the. No, this doesn't affect the head, so. Okay. This happens with. This is why we should always parent bones properly, folks. There are many bones that yeah, bad practice. I need to revise what I'm doing there, but okay. So since we can't move the head, let's at least try to pose other stuff here. Yeah, I know. Now this will be bad, so the hand's not working, so we can't do much about rest here. Yeah, as soon as it deforms the neck, the head moves. Yeah, this is simple thing. You just need to see what's causing. I think it's the child of bone constraint, but then okay, we have the face rig control bones. Okay, let's leave it like that. Here we can have this shape more. Yeah, nothing much to do in the other eye actually. There's some tweak here and that's it. Yeah, that's it. This arm is very bad, but what about? Yeah, let's get the eyes back. And the arm here, let's see if we can. Yeah, these aren't very bad, never mind. Could only okay, let's try to take finally some screenshot of this crazy expression. Not satisfied, not satisfying enough. Let's try on some compositing is killing the. Oh, I need that, right. Low, maybe I should perhaps change this orange light, is too strong. Compared to this, yeah, like 10,000, 20,000, maybe 15,000. About we got the sunlight to yeah, 1.5, why not? No, too dark. Also seems a bit too dark, so 2.5 was like the best approach. Then we also need diffuse. No, 8 diffuse. No, what I hate is specular, not diffuse. Then let's see for the horizontal split, the composer. There's still an EV. Terrible. Just to play with this is EV. This should be the one for EV, for cycles, and for yeah. Let's get the EV still. And let's just see cycles workbench. Now we have the topology cycles. Okay, it crashed. Fair enough. So it's time to go. Thanks, folks. Thanks a lot, Skid, for showing around. And then we are going to be back tomorrow or today later, depending on the time, with more of this thing. This was huge progress towards the cartoonist. This was one of the okay, we still do not have, yeah, just a fast explanation here. On the next steps, I'm gonna reopen the file. Okay, so we don't have we still do not have the possibility of shaping the lips, but this is because I don't know yet the ideal rest position for this mouth. So this soon, at some point, perhaps this week, I should be retaking again the rest position of the mouth for a better thing. But we still have to test those splines, and I need to investigate this corrective smooth new one for the face. How can I get it to work without breaking my... Maybe we can maintain it fixed, since this area is not an area that requires lots of... It's more smooth all around, so it's not something that we can sustain this corrective smooth always, differently from the lips or some areas in the rig that we might want to drive it. So maybe we don't need to drive it at all if we choose well the places where it should have an impact, an effect into. And so we know now how to displace the mouth without that sonic approach with the shrink wrap modifier. We still have a big challenge in many shapes of the mouth, even the simplest ones, and then the largest ones will be a bigger challenge, even as big as this one. This is a breakthrough for me, at least. But then knowing how to shape the mouth really large, and perhaps with more mesh topology, maybe we'll have to use shape keys, I'm not sure. Maybe you'll have to have crazy amount of splines in the lips. So that's another possibility, folks, I'm considering, because otherwise I don't know if what we will have here will be enough. So this is why the lips now is like highest priority. The interior of the mouth, with this idea of following the mouth hole from the inside, is genius, and I think I can take advantage. So we can, you see, how would I get this thing? So there's something more about orientation. It's a completely new concept. This is like, now it's not the structure of the mouth, of the mouth interior which counts, of the head so much. It is really the mouth whole orientation which counts. It's it that points how the bones there will. It's like they would need to stretch. All the structure has to adapt to this, and not the opposite. It's not like yes, I was not doing the opposite, but I mean the way the arcades must adapt to the mouth hole orientation is something I haven't thought before. So I was trying to adapt in a very simplistic, mechanistical way, while it should be way more dramatical, right? So this is still mechanism, but a much smarter mechanism. It doesn't mean we can benefit from the stretching and scratch and other features. Yeah. But that's so there are some ideas. And so as we complete the possibilities of mouth shapes, tiny, large, lip sync, variety of shapes, with or without shape keys. We'll try to do as much as we can without shape keys. Eventually something will have shape keys, maybe, but then we'll require. But so far I believe there is a rest position for mouth shape will help. That will help everything else in a very good way. And these splines are actually making miracle for this character. So we are in a very great direction, I think. This was like, if we can do this, we probably can do the other thing, because look at the amount of stretching there. So it will become more and more a stylistic question, therefore, than the technical one. So the technicalities of things we are already starting to control. Then it's more about the art, how to maintain the shapes artistically. We are starting to get good shapes here for this face, which is simpler than the lips shapes, but nonetheless what's very hard to find out a technical solution for that solution. So I think if I make one more breakthrough, maybe with the splines here, and yeah, one more breakthrough, and probably we would have mastered this system. So I think we are like 60% on this melt rigging, unless I'm forgetting some very delicate thing. But yeah, 60% at least we are at. So thanks for following, folks. We are going to sleep now. So take care, folks, and happy blending, and see ya soon. Bye.